Okay, so I just want to put a quick video together on this since I couldn't find anything when I was looking at doing it. This is Kubota L6060 hydro. I did the 4-in-1 bucket and stuff on it, which you can find a lot of stuff on that on the net. But I ran into I was looking for something in a self-leveling loader, which I didn't really find anything available for the L6060. Closest thing I could find was the hydraulic spill guard that they show as an option. It's around $600 if I remember correctly. I thought I'd give it a try because it kind of sounded like it did what I was looking for it to kind of do. I knew it probably wouldn't be true self-leveling, but I wanted to show people what it actually did because I couldn't find anything out there on the net on it. So just to show you what it consists of here, about this down here once it's a little bit, and so it's an add-on kit. Normally you wouldn't have these extra hoses going over the top here. There is a valve that gets added to it, as you can see down here. Hard to see with the hoses in the way, but you can get kind of an idea. There's a valve right down in here. There's a rod that controls it. It's an actuated hydraulic cylinder or a hydraulic valve. Okay, what actuates it is this rod that goes to the front, and as you lift the bucket, let's say you have it curled, okay, and you got a full bucket of dirt, you're carrying it even more curled than this is. I'll show you that in a second here. But you got a full bucket of dirt, you're carrying it, now you're going to raise it, and you're worried about it maybe coming off the back, which if you left it full curl, that surely could happen, right? So this valve is designed to help alleviate that. You know, if you're good at using a loader, which I've been using loaders for years, if I knew this kit did only what it did, I probably would have skipped on it myself, because doing the two functions with the loader valve for me is not a big deal. But maybe somebody gets in it and is not really paying attention and runs the load up high. Maybe it's good to have as a security feature, I guess. But it is what it is. So how it works is you do your adjustments down here on this lever as to when it starts to level it forward as it goes up. So this adjustment will change that. Works off of your leveling rod here, basically, to show you where you're at. So I'll show you what this does here. We'll do a full curl. Hopefully you can hear me while it's running. I'll kind of explain. You can kind of see it as it goes up. So let's fire it up here. Okay, I'm going to lift this up, and then I'm going to curl it all the way back so that you can kind of see here. That's bucket all the way back, and it's allowing a full curl, as you can see here, right? Okay. So if you're carrying a load of dirt, carrying it as it is, now you're going to go up and say load a dump truck or something. Now I'm just going to pull straight back on the loader bar, on the valve, going straight back. One finger, not going to pull it sideways or anything to level it. Watch how the bucket changes as it goes up when it hits about halfway. Right there, you see the bucket's starting to move on its own. Now you can see I went straight back. I did not move the loader valve to the side, but you see how much it moved the loader bucket? You can see it on the cylinder there, and it kept your bucket level all the way to the top. One thing I don't like about it, which is probably not a big deal here again, is if I try to curl it back, now it will not let me. It'll actually fight it. So if I go over, it'll try to curl, and then this valve will kick in to basically circulate the fluid. Now, if I don't level this back down, if I just go straight down with the bucket, it doesn't do anything, okay? And your bucket will be somewhat like that as it comes down. Now this can be changed based on your settings and stuff, but I just thought I'd let you know in case you were looking at it. There's certain things I thought were really good at. This particular part, I could take or leave it. You know, $600 on the machine, I guess, isn't a make or break it. It's, you know, it's expensive, yes, but I guess if somebody loads this thing up and picks it up, I guess it's better than dumping it on the hood. But yeah, you have extra hoses involved in a valve, so you see what that's included. A couple of things I do think are very well worth it. Now I have the third function on here. So if you opt for that, and this is one thing I really like, it was expensive. I mean, it's $1,000 item, okay? But I can literally take this loader off in the same amount of time, but basically almost takes by unhooking these hoses and unhooking the bucket. It goes very fast. I wasn't going to do it here, but with this is an 8-way. This is the 8-way valve, not the 4-way, or the smaller one that they have. They got a 4 version of this. And if you do that and then you put the quick coupler on it, you get another bracket over here, and it's got 2 extra hoses, but you still have to do those with couplers. And if you're going to do it, you know, it's not that dramatically different to go to this one if you're going to do a quick coupler. And I just don't use the extra 2. The extra 2 here were designed to do the quick detach bucket, or the hydraulic detach bucket, but I got these open basically now to do whatever I want with. I could put something else on there, another valve or sort or whatever, make it a quick disconnect also if I wanted to. You also notice if you had a L6060, you'll notice there's something a little different about it. It's the front tires. And I did go to a wider front tire. I wanted some flotation across the lawn, those skinny front tires they come with. I had them on my last tractor too, and they just too narrow. So I went to this. It's basically the rims. Now you can't just take the rims off of an MX 54 or 5800 or 6000 and throw them on here, because those are 12 16.5 tires, and those are too tall. It's going to throw your ratio off on your 4-wheel drive. So don't go and just grab those bigger tires off of a MX, or order those tires from an MX series and throw them on your L series, because you will throw the 4-wheel drive off. You may not notice it right away, but you can really tell it's binding the 4-wheel drive. All you have to do is drive on cement for a little bit, and you'll see how hard it is to try and shift it out of 4-wheel drive, because it's binding up so tight. This I can drive on the cement in 4-wheel drive as far as I want, and still pull it out of 4-wheel drive with 2 fingers. So I've got it set up about perfect. Okay, so I'm actually in here now. I'm going to put this in 4-wheel drive. I just want to show you guys here with the tire size that I'm running on the front, the wider. I can't really see them from in here, but I am running the wider tires on it. I'm going to put it in 4-wheel drive now. Just move forward a little bit, go into gear. Okay, so it is in 4-wheel drive. So I'm just going to drive it ahead here. And I just want to show, even driving ahead, normally if it was binding up, you'd have a really hard time pulling this out. I just want to show you. It's not binding at all. You can flip it down, and I'm still going forward. I'm just going to pull up on it and pull it out with 1 finger. So just to show you that you're in the right mode. It does it just fine. So there's no binding going on in 4-wheel drive, and that's really what you want. You want a binding when you're going straight. Of course, when you turn, you'll obviously have that, but so just a heads up for you. Even in reverse, same thing. Got it 4-wheel drive right now. I'm not even barely pushing on it. Backing up. Very simple. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that we're in the right range for 4-wheel drive on this, and it's going to be a happy system there. I'm not going to put any undue wear. All right, guys, have a good one. I believe the ratio on this was 15640, something like that. I'd have to verify that number, don't quote me on that, but I did the calculations and stuff, and found that if you go with the 31.5 excuse me, 31.5 by 13 by 16.5, you go from a 10-inch wide tire to a 13 wide tire. You go to the MX style rim. You can get that from your Kubota dealer. They were pretty cheap at that point, the rims themselves anyway. Mount them up and then just toss them on the tractor. I run the rears at about 12 psi, and it doesn't, you can barely tell you got it in four-wheel drive when you're driving it around, so it's perfectly matched for it. They say you want to be within 1%, or within 5%, I should say, and I'm within 1%, so front to rear ratio. So just a heads up, if anybody's looking for a little more flotation on the front and get a little wider tire on it, you sure can do that. And I'm going to save this for another video, but I optioned it out because the lights on this thing were hideous. You know, the little halogens that they put on here are worthless. So I did some Baja designs. I had some from my other tractor, so I did some side lights. I did some Phoenix strobe lighting that also works with turn signals and hazard lights. Wired that all in. I'll do another video on that shortly. Show you guys what that's all about. But did them top, bottom, and I did my back ones here also. Did some side lighting and rear lighting on those. So along with the hydraulic backlink, and I switched this over to the quick connectors, or European style if you want to call them that, the hooks. I did that on both for quick hitch options. Works really well. I'm glad I did it. I did the 3 SCVs on it. Bottom one is a float one, which really doesn't work for this because it does have the valve in it, so it's not going to let this float. But if you have an implement that needs float, at least I've got one for this, and the other 2 are just your standard non-detent valves. So you have options to do that on these tractors, on the L series, to get float detent or standard 2-way SCVs. So some options there. But just thought I'd give you guys a heads up on it. That's really, it was about the valve here today. It's like I say, I know there's not a lot out there on this particular part, but it'll at least give you an idea if you really want this or not, and hopefully it saves some guys some grief if it really wasn't what you're looking for. All right guys, take care, have a good one.